What's good, Raider Nation? We're talking some fantasy football today. Let's get it. What is going on, Raider Nation? It is your boy, Raider Primo, back again. We got a different type of show today, you guys, but it's going to be a fun one. This is going to be breaking down for all of my fantasy owners out there that are wanting to add some of the Las Vegas Raiders to their team. I might talk about what's going on around the league in regards to fantasy, but I am having my league members pulling up also into the chat. I don't want to give them any tips on how they could beat me in my league. But with that being said, you guys, on the way in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you guys are not missing anything. And I know this is a different type of show, but continue to share the link around, you guys. We are one subscriber away from 550, and we are getting close to 600 subscribers, you guys. Please think about sharing the link around. It's not going to cost you anything. It is for free. And also hit the subscribe button, hit that like, and also if you are on X or on Facebook, come over to YouTube and join the party, join the conversation. We already got Anthony in the building. He says, Raider Primos, salute to the nation. A salute to you, Anthony. Salute to you. We got one of the moderators in here. We got CGR in the building. Thank you, CGR, for pulling up and handling the chat. Probably not going to have a lot of people pull up. Like I said, this is going to be a different type of show. We are going to be breaking down doing a fantasy breakdown of the Las Vegas Raiders offense, mainly, the quarterback, running back, and maybe 3 wide receivers, and then our tight end. Defense, I'm really not going to talk about the defense. I mean, I don't know if you guys want me to talk about the defense, but I really am not hyped on this defense. Definitely would not take a risk on them in fantasy. I think this is going to be a defense that you can, if they start balling out, you can get them on the waiver wire. They're not going to be drafted. They are going to be sitting on the waiver wire the entire for the majority of the season. If the Raiders defense somehow just starts clicking it all together, getting sacks, getting turnovers, that is really what matters with the fantasy football defense is sacks, turnovers. If the Raiders defense is getting a lot of sacks, positive necessary, if they're creating a lot of turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, then yes, that is a defense you can go look at. But if it's a defense you're drafting, no, do not draft the Raiders defense. This is a defense that is going to be sitting on the waiver wire that you can kind of eye them. I mean, most of us are Raider fans here. We're going to be looking at them during the entire season. If they start balling, hey, go look at your waiver wire, go pick up the Raiders defense. And maybe if it's a good matchup. They do have a lot of favorable matchups this year, going against the Giants during the playoff for you fantasy owners that will make the playoffs. They do have the Jags late in the season. They have the Titans going against Cam Ward, a rookie quarterback. They also have the Browns later in the season. We broke down the schedule in our last show. So there is some favorable matchups that for the Raiders defense, but still I just do not like just the question marks that the Raiders defense has. And from what we've seen in the preseason, it does not look good. But the Raiders defense do have 2 interceptions in the past 2 games. So that it seems they are the start, and from the starters. So it does seem like they may be able to create some turnovers. In regards to the sack department, that's another question that we're going to have to wait come regular season. But let me acknowledge the chat. You guys continue. We got Shaq Boys, the third up in here, telling me to keep quiet. Yeah, I'm going to keep quiet and can't be giving any of my notes away. Kenny Clark is in the building. Kenny, he says 14 days till Foxborough. Gillette shave my football stadium. Kenny says, I want the Fox. The first one is the most important. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. The first overall, what would you do with your first pick? And I think for me, I will always go with the running back. And let's talk about our running back, Ashton Genty. A lot of people are going to use him for their first overall pick. Coming from fantasypros.com, expert note said no matter how you slice it, Genty is a top 5 back out of the gate. He has a true 3-down skill set and should get all the volume that he can handle. He's a tackle breaking maven, a skill that I have no doubt would translate to the NFL. Across his final 2 collegiate seasons, Genty ranked first and third in yards after contact per attempt and first and second in elusive rating per PFF. Las Vegas will feature the run prominently, and Genty's receiving upside gives him an insane ceiling for 2025. During Chip Kelly's tenure in the NFL, his offense have never ranked lower than 11th in rushing attempts. Also, during Kelly's 4 years as an NFL offensive coordinator, in 3 of those seasons, his backfield had a 16.6 to 17.7% target share, but he also flooded his Philly backfield with targets in 2015 with 28.7%. Genty could push for near the top end of that range. In 2023, he ranked first in receiving grade and second in yards per route run. Genty is primed for a rookie season that could rival Saquon Barkley's rookie season. Now, you guys, this is something to monitor. We did see Genty come out of the game for a brief moment against the Niners. And this was what Fantasy Pros had to say about the fantasy impact to that shoulder. That Genty seems to be all right after returning to the sideline. He took a hit to his shoulder, and a preseason injury would be less than ideal. His situation is worth monitoring, but there's a little reason for concern, especially after returning to the game, unless more information comes out. Well, no information came out, and it's funny because after he took that hit, he actually then delivered a hit to the Niners cornerback. So, yes, you guys, I'm looking at Ashton Genty, of course. I always go running backs in my drafts, first round. And I believe Ashton Genty is going to be worth that first overall pick or first round pick. And to be in that starting lineup. Chip Kelly is going to be really, really heavy in the run game. Ashton is going to get a lot of touches this season. And also, if you're in the PPR league, Ashton is definitely a running back you want to look at if those receptions are going to count towards your score. Ashton could look maybe 5 receptions minimum. He's going to be heavily in the per game. He's going to be heavily involved in the Raiders passing game. So definitely Ashton Genty will definitely help you guys as your guys start in your starting lineup. If you want to keep him on the bench, if you have a stacked running back room, then Ashton Genty is, if you're putting him on the bench, it has to be because you have a stacked running back room. There's no reason I believe that Ashton Genty should be on your bench. He should be in the starting lineup. He is going to get a lot of touches, a lot of opportunities to do damage against defenses. And he does have favorable. He's going to get a lot of touches, especially week 1 against New England. So definitely take a look at Ashton Genty for your starting lineup. Let's see. Teddy is in the building. I'm taking Tom Brady first overall. Nah, bro. F that. I'm taking Derek Carr. What you mean, Teddy? I'm taking Derek Carr. Kenny's like, it goes deep for me on that. Yeah. Anthony, I'm taking Jamarcus Russell first overall. Kenny Clark, bro. I'm taking you first overall, bro. Matt says, yeah, Shady feasted under Chip. Brock Bowers, first round pick. Well, we'll get into, let's go into our next guy. He could, now the thing is, Brock Bowers is slated to be the number 1 tight end in the league, you guys. After an amazing rookie year, he is already slated to be he is ranked, it's not even, he is slated, he is ranked as the number 1 tight end in the league and the number 1 tight end in fantasy. The expert note said that Brock Bowers had a legendary rookie season. He finished as the tight end 3 in fantasy points per game. He logged the most receptions, receiving yards, PPR fantasy points per game, and targets for a rookie tight end ever. Insane production. Last year, among 47 qualifying tight ends, he remained stellar, ranking second in target share, 23.6%, third in receiving yards per game, 70.2%, fifth in yards per route run, 2.11, and sixth in first downs per route run, 0.108 per fantasy points data. With more target competition added in the offseason with the additions of Jack Bech and Dante Thornton, we'll see if Bowers can reproduce this type of season in year two. But I won't be betting against him. With an improved quarterback play with Geno Smith now under center, Bowers is worth paying up for in drafts as a difference maker option at a one Z position. Here's my answer to that question, Matt. That you said Brock Bowers is a first round pick. He is, but what is the risk that you're taking? Now, if you're the last pick in your league, or you're the last pick in your league, or you're towards the back end of that first round, yes, I could take Brock Bowers there with the first round. Am I taking him if I'm up? No, because again, it all depends how your board is. If your board is going through running backs, there's not a lot of running backs out there that you can really count on, considering that the NFL now is a running back by committee league. Guys like Ashton Genty, guys like Saquon Barkley, who else? Maybe Derrick Henry. There's a few running backs that you can guarantee you're going to get a lot out of them. Maybe Bijan Robinson, you'll get some points out of him, but those bell cows, there's not a lot of them out there. I think Brock Bowers is maybe a second round pick you could use on him, but definitely, and I disagree that the competition like of his receptions will go down because the Raiders added Jack Bech. We have not seen anything out of Jack Bech in this preseason. Seen a little bit of the separate what Dante could bring, but Geno and Dante have not been really hitting on their targets. In the one target that Geno Smith targeted Brock Bowers, we've seen what this duo can do. We've been hearing a lot of things out of camp that Geno has been always targeting Brock. He even said, if I could target Brock on every play, I would. If I could feed Brock all the time, I would. Hearing that from Geno Smith, definitely you have to circle Brock Bowers on your draft board, because he's going to get, especially in the red zone, you guys. And I know a lot of people may be skeptic of the Raiders offense, but no, this is a Chip Kelly-led offense, and especially when they get in the red zone, better quarterback play, Brock Bowers is going to do damage. Me personally, I think he can get 10-plus touchdowns this year, and he's going to be leading the Raiders, I believe, again, in receptions and yards and touchdowns. Even though they have a better wide receiver group, it's still a lot of Brock Bowers is that number one target for the Las Vegas Raiders. So you could, Matt, go with Brock Bowers in the first round. Just depends how the board is falling, because you do not want to miss out on any of the running backs if they're there when it's your time to come up. Salute to James Bull popping up in the building. Kenny, I want the fox. We going foxing. Thank you, CGR. Thank you, CGR. Van City, any quarterback in the NFL would target Brock. Oh, bro, say that, bro. They will target Brock every single down if they could. Teddy, if you in a league with dogs, a tight end in first round won't cut it. Yeah. Wait, I would say, like I said, I would wait second, third. It depends on the board. In my league, there's 10 teams. You can afford to maybe go tight end first, second round. But if you're in a league where there's like 12, 14 teams, hell, I haven't seen a league that there were 16 teams before, which is crazy. You maybe get hurt more picking a tight end that early. I think just like Teddy said here, you can maybe wait in the later rounds, maybe like a fifth, sixth round, just because of how many teams there is in your league. It all depends on how many teams are in your league, also how the board is going. Vince said Brock isn't your typical tight end, though. He's a tight end that is built like a big body wide receiver. Vince, you're right. But I'm thinking like this on my if I can get now, I would pick Brock. This is me personally because of the league I am. I would pick Brock with the second in my second round. But it also depends on my positioning. If I'm picking to the back end of the draft, where I know, okay, second round, I'm gonna now be in the top of the order. Okay, I can maybe go back to back with a tight end and a running back if I really want Brock Bowers. So it all depends where you are in the draft positioning. If you're in, let's say you're before the 5th pick, you're in the top of the order in the first round, I would not pick Brock there because then you're going to be in the back end of the second round. Then running backs are off. Like you may be lucky to get a good running back. You got to have at least 1 or 2 good running backs, but you definitely got to have one. If you don't have any good running backs that you can go into the weekend knowing like, okay, these running backs are going to put up give me production, they're going to put up points, you're gonna lose out. You're gonna lose out. Hey, he is. He is. Brock can run through a team. Extremely versatile. Our Brock, this monster, he is. It's gonna. He's gonna go. Or where will he go? I have no idea. Let me see if I can find a prediction where his average draft position. Let me see. Let me see where his ADP is. Oh, all right. Brock Bowers ADP. So his overall is the 16th overall pick. As a tight end, he's the first overall pick or first tight end taken off the board. And PPR or overall standard 16, PPR 17. Again, first tight end taken off the board. So he's likely going to be set the board when tight ends are going to possibly go off the board. And he's usually the 16th or 17th pick in the draft. So with the ADP saying he is going to get picked in the second round, maybe the third round, you probably can get away with picking some running backs or looking at him in the first round. But like I said, I think second and third round, I actually like that 16 or 17. I can see that makes a ton of sense. That makes a ton of sense. Van City, Mayer is going to be your chippy, gritty, and dirty blocking tight end. Brock will be the go-to target for Geno. Yes, Van City, and this is why I know the fantasy pros, the website says that he might have not the same season like last season. I disagree with that. I think he still can put up the numbers same as last season because of one, the quarterback, and it's really the quarterback. Geno is going to target him as much as possible, and he's accurate. He's accurate with the football. He's going to give Brock Bowers many, many opportunities to come down with the football. And again, if you're in a PPR league, that even does more wonders for you because Brock can be getting 8 catches a game. You guys, 8 catches a game. Shout out to Mike, G Kids, GB. Vegas fans will get him real quick. Hey, I will. He's the number 1 tight end in the league. He's the number 1 tight end in the league. Now, hey, you know what's funny? We can't say we're grabbing him because we're Raider fans. No, we're grabbing him because he's the best tight end in the league. CGR, Mayer is a good pass catching tight end also. You're right, CGR, but again, we're talking fantasy-wise. Brock is going to be your guy. Axel Raider, Bowers will have the first ever 1,000-yard game. Well, we playing rookie mode? Like, what's going on? Van City, I took Saquon round 1, Brock round 2, and I feel great about it. Excellent start to the draft right there, Van City. That would have been probably my, again, depending on draft positioning. I don't know where you were at the draft or like position-wise, but definitely a good start to your draft. Let me see. Axel, we can't depend on a tight end to lift up our receiving corps, though. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Good. Kenny Clark, Coach Chip has so many variables. It is going to come down to Coach Chip. But like I said, Brock Bowers is your best player on that field, on that offense. Chip is going to make sure he gets the ball to Brock Bowers as many times as he can. But let's move on, you guys. That is the Brock Bowers breakdown. We broke down Ashton Genty. We broke down Brock Bowers. Now let's head to our quarterback. Speaking of Geno Smith, going to our quarterback. Hold on, my thing is like bugging out right now. So with Geno Smith, fantasypros.com said this, that Geno Smith was the quarterback 15 in fantasy points per game on the strength of operating in an offense that ranked fourth in passing attempts. I don't know if he'll be afforded anywhere near that amount of volume with the Raiders, but Smith also checked more than a few boxes for strong quarterback play last season. Among 40 qualifying quarterbacks, he ranked 13th in yards per attempt, fourth in CP. I don't know what that is. CPOE. I don't know what the abbreviation is for that. But he ranked 13 in yards per attempt, fourth in whatever that is, and 10th in highly accurate throw rate per fantasy points data. The wheels came off for Smith when he was pressured, and that happened often in 2024 as he faced the sixth most pressures in the NFL. Last year, when pressured, Smith ranked 35th in passer rating with the fourth highest turnover worthy throw rate while sitting at 17th in adjusted completion rate. When Smith passed from a clean pocket, he ranked 13th in passer rating, had the 23rd lowest turnover worthy throw rate, and was second in adjusted completion rate. The move from Seattle to Las Vegas would benefit Smith's pressured sensitivity greatly, as the Raiders were 14th in pass blocking grade last season, with Seattle being 19th. I don't think Smith has the juice to be a quarterback one this season, but he could easily turn in as a high-end quarterback two numbers again this season with plenty of splash performances for the quarterback streaming crowd. And I agree with this statement, you guys. When evaluating Geno Smith, he would not be my starting quarterback. He is not going to be my first quarterback that I'm taking. I am going to see get my starting lineup together, and Geno is likely going to be my quarterback two, sitting on the bench. He is. If you just need him for one game, I I think that's a reason to draft Geno Smith. If you just are going to use him for one game, that's a good reason to draft him. Have him sit on the bench, fill in for that bye week for your starter, and then sit him back down when your starter comes back. But if you're going to draft him as a quarterback one, you're making a big, big mistake. I say that because even though I am high on Geno, that he is not going to throw 15 interceptions last season, which is going to cost you guys. Turnovers cost us in fantasy big time. I don't see him throwing 15 interceptions, but I also don't see him being better than a lot of the other quarterbacks out there that are worthy to be that starting quarterback. Being as a quarterback too, sitting him on the bench, that is going to be your best bet. I don't think that's going to burn you too much. Get him as your quarterback too. And also throughout the year, you can see how Geno is playing and how his stats are how is he performing on a week-to-week basis, and even based off matchups. The Raiders start off with the Patriots, Chargers, and the Washington Commanders. Three good matchups that you can kind of evaluate to see where Geno is with this offense and what production is he going to bring for your fantasy team. But let me get back to the chat. You got, bro, Axel Raider, bro. Geno will have the first ever 10 touchdown game, bro. Calm it down. Calm it down. Kenny Clark, Geno is going to light it up. I think he will, Kenny. I think he will. But from a fantasy standpoint, I'm keeping him as my quarterback two. I am not going to get him for my quarterback one. No way in hell I'm going to get him as my quarterback one. He will be my quarterback two, you guys. And I think that will be really, really beneficial if you sit him on the bench. That way you can evaluate, see how his progression is on a week-to-week basis, and see how he's performing, which he should. He should perform with a guy like Brock Bowers. But let's get into the wide receiver group for the Raiders. Now we're only gonna really talk about. I mean, I could bring it up. Let me see. So I'm not too high on him only because he's a rookie, but I will bring it up. But let's start with the wide receiver room, you guys. And this is a young wide receiver room for the Las Vegas Raiders. You have your wide receiver one, Jacoby Myers, who's basically the leader in that wide receiver room, and he's the aging vet. 28. He's 28 years old. You got Jack Best, Trey Tucker's 24, Best 22, Dante Thorne Jr. 22, And the reason why I bring up the age, you guys, is because the lack of experience. Jacoby Myers is probably going to be your best bet, with Trey Tucker also going into his, I believe, his third or fourth year. I think it's his third year. Yeah, third year. It's his third year. Trey Tucker going into his third year. He has a little bit of experience, but after Trey, you guys, there's little of experience on that wide receiver room. But let's start with Jacoby Myers, you guys, for his fantasy outlook from fantasypros.com. The expert noted this, that this year's Myers will reprise his role as Brock Bowers' running mate, leading the Raiders' passing attack. Last year, at the departure of Devontae Adams, Myers was the wide receiver 18 in fantasy points per game. During that stretch, among 98 qualifying wide receivers, he ranked 19th in target share, 13th in receiving yards per game with 75.4. His target share was 23.5%. He was 34th in first downs per route run, 0.096, and 11th in first read share, 32.6% per fantasy points data. Not expecting Myers to be a consistent wide receiver 2 this season again, but it's not outside of the range and outcomes. He's best viewed as a strong wide receiver 3 or flex with upside. I agree with that, but it also depends. It also depends on your matchup, because Brock Bowers is still going to be that number one target. Jacoby will be that second target. Now, here's the difference between, we are going to go over with Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton. The reason why I'm bringing up Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton is because they can be your big hitters. Now, that's if you're in a standard league and you're not in a PPR league. If you rely on the big play, Trey Tucker and Dante could be guys to look out for. But again, these are guys that to not be on your starting lineup. These are guys that maybe you could take a chance, sit them on your bench, seeing how their performance is going on a week-to-week basis. I have high hopes for Trey Tucker. We'll go into his fantasy outlook right now. Actually, they don't even have notes on him. But like I said, you guys, I like Trey Tucker. I think he's gonna have a big year. But for fantasy wise, I've seen some people have been drafting Trey Tucker in their leagues and sitting and as a backup, sitting him on the bench. Not too high on Trey Tucker sitting on the bench. I believe you can get him off the waiver wire. That's a guy that you don't have to draft. You can get him off the waiver wire. I don't think anybody has Trey Tucker circled on their draft board. Maybe Jacoby Myers. He's reliable. He catches everything in the red zone. Him and Brock are going to be the two guys that Gino is likely going to be looking at. And like I said, Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. kind of your big hitters, your big play hitters. But they're guys that I'm not going to be drafting in my fantasy league because, like I said, you guys can get them, and you guys can get them in there in the back end of in the waiver wire. But with that said, you guys, that is our breakdown of the Las Vegas Raiders fantasy breakdown. And right now, you guys, it's a short, like I said, it's a different type of show, so we might be ending it a little bit early. Still got 5 people rocking in the chat with me. I appreciate you guys. Tay says Jacoby only. Yeah, Jacoby's reliable. Again, in the PPR league, Jacoby is definitely a guy that I'm looking at because of the PPR league. It's points per reception. He is likely going to be up there getting the target share with Brock Bowers, probably going to be averaging like 5 to 7 receptions a game with the targets he's going to get. And like I said, with Trey and Dante, just don't have a lot of faith in them. They're going to be more of those deep threats. And if they do get, their touches, it's likely going to be for chunk plays, but they're not going to get your 8, 9, 10 catches a game. But yeah, let's get to the nitty and gritty, you guys. I told you guys I have my own fantasy league, and I decided to have some fun with it. I wanted to, bring you guys, bring the chat involved. I have my own fantasy league. I'm the commissioner, and instead of letting the computer generate the draft order, I will be randomizing on a wheel, and we're going to be finding out the draft order that way. I want to give my league some time to really prep with their draft position. They're going to know our draft is in 2 days. on Sunday. So they have 2 days to really prepare for what they're gonna do with the pick position that they're gonna get. And if you guys are gonna head out, thank you guys for pulling up. Hit the subscribe button on the way out. Hit that like and hit that bell so you guys are not missing anything, because we are gonna go live later today to preview the Raiders and the Cardinals preseason game that is tomorrow. I think it's at, I don't know what start time it is. It's at 7, right? 7 p.m. Pacific. It's at 7 p.m. for me, I believe. Yeah, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific for me, 10 o'clock Eastern. Thank you guys for pulling up. But yeah, we're going to get to the nitty and gritty. I know I got Teddy here, but let's get it going, you guys, with the first overall pick. Who is going to get the first overall pick? Let's get it cracking. We're going to spin. And I'm actually noting these down because I can't put them in yet. Let's see. If we get the first overall pick, number 2. So the way we're going to do this, I'm going to remove Ken. And then I'm going to shuffle it again. I'm going to shuffle it again. That way there's no biasness. It's all randomized. It is all randomized. All right, let's see. Second overall pick. Second overall pick is going to be Matt B with It Hurts So Good. He's got the second overall pick with number 3. Number 3. Let's spin. Bro, I love this name. Show me them TDs. We got show me them TDs at number 3. Number 4. Let's shuffle it again. Hey, I'm actually liking this. I don't want to be at the top of the order, so I'm actually liking this. I'm just compete. I said it's too early. I'm number 4. I said it too early. I said it too early. I said it too early. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I'm at number 4. Shuffling again. For number 5. Number 5, the middle of the pack, probably the best pick, honestly, to have in the draft. And it's going to go to Mahomes and Rice Krispie. Mahomes and Rice Krispie. That's my brother right there. My brother got the 5th pick. Number 6. Number 6. Who's got number 6? 6 overall is going to go to Money Mike. Money Mike with the 6th pick in my fantasy draft. Number 7. Let's go to pick 7. Got 4 left. Pick number 7. Pick number 7 is going to be, I don't know who, which is my grandfather. My grandfather's got the 7th pick. 8th pick. Hold on. I got to space that out. All right. Now we're at the back end of the first round. This is where they can play it smart. What they got, if they, on the back end of the first round, they can play it smart. They're going to have basically back-to-back picks going to this second round. Maximum with the 8th pick. Maximum with the 8th pick. Moving on to the final 2, you guys. Who's going to take the 9th pick? Is it going to be Lice Kamara action or DNA Drive Warren? Oh, it is going to be DNA Drive Warren. And for Warren, and then we got Lights Kamara action, locking up the last pick of the draft. So that is going to be our draft order, you guys. We did our draft order. So the draft order is looking like this, you guys. Number 1, it's going to be Ken. Number 2, we got Lights Kamara Action. Number 3, Showed Me Them TDs. Love that name. Love that name. Number 4, it's going to be yours truly. It's going to be me. I shouldn't have been talking because I was loving the way the board was going, but nah, it wants to give me the 4th pick. Nah. Number 5 is going to be my brother. His team name is Mahomes and Rice Krispy Treats. Number 6, Money Mike. Number 7, I don't know who. Number 8, Maximum. I love that name too. You know, Max Crosby. I love that name. Number 9, DNA Drive Warren. Number 10, Lights Kamara Action. That is going to be your guys' draft order. At least talking to my league. This is how they're finding out where they're drafting. If they come Sunday and like, oh, I didn't know I was drafting here. Well, no, I went live and I did a whole draft order show. But thank you guys for pulling up. Like I said, you guys, we will be live tonight. We will be live either tonight or maybe like I think I have it scheduled for 3:30, our usual time. I'm still working on a time though for it though, you guys. So stay tuned for that. I might be bringing some guests on to preview the game with me. If not, just keep a lookout for when I go live. I will be going live either this afternoon or in the evening. So hit that bell so you guys are not missing anything. And please think about hitting that subscribe button on the way out and hitting that like button. Thank you guys for pulling up. This was actually a pretty good show. I know it was not that long, 36 minutes. We might have a full fantasy breakdown. Actually, this Saturday, you guys, tomorrow, I will be going live. I will be going live from my cousin. Speaking of Teddy, I will be going from my cousin Teddy. He has his own league, and he has a live draft party. I will be going live from that draft party, and we will be probably live for like an hour. We're not going to be live for too long. He's like, I got the last pick. Hey, bro, Teddy, we shouldn't have been talking, right? Because I mean, I got number 4. I know number 4 is not that bad, but I didn't want number 4. I wanted like maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, it is what it is. We shouldn't have been talking, bro. The wheel was hearing us talk. But yes, I will be going to his fantasy draft tomorrow. We are going to be going live. I think I have it scheduled at 6. I got to be there by 5. So I'm going to have like an hour to set up. I will be going live at 6. We'll be live for about maybe an hour 30. We will be having a fantasy breakdown of the entire league. And I will also be talking to former champions in that league, getting some insight. Maybe they can help give you guys some tips in your fantasy and your guys' fantasy leagues. Football is around the corner, you guys, which means fantasy football is around the corner, which means I know a lot of people are coming back for redemption. They're defending their titles, and a lot of people are coming back like, nah, I'm winning this year. Maybe you're going for your first title ever. I believe I'm a one-time champ. I got to put it out there. I'm a one-time champ. Got to put it out there. I think I won in my second year. In my second year playing fantasy, that's when I won the championship. So definitely. Mike says, get that ring for this year so I can win it. Our league is gonna have a title, and I'm gonna explain that. I mean, I could probably explain it now, because you guys are gonna watch this. So the way the title is gonna work, you guys, at the end of the season, whoever's the champion, they are gonna hold the title for an entire year until the following season. And that's whenever I see you. Whenever I can see you, I'll try to see if I can meet you in person, or heck, we can have like maybe a fantasy football party or something, and we can. Fortunately, the losers got to celebrate the champion, and you will be crowned with the title. You will hold it for the entire year until the following season. The thing is, you guys, I am gonna. That's why the buy-in is a little bit more. It's going to go towards the title, but here's the catch: when you do take it home, any damage that happens to that title You are liable for it. I will not be coming out of pocket for damages on the title that happened that when it was with you. So any damage that happens to the title and when it's with you, that is on you. You have to fix the damages. So take very, very care of the title. But yeah, we will likely probably have like a fantasy, like an end of the year, end of the season party celebrating the champion. All the losers got to celebrate the champion, and they will also be crowned with the title and an engravement, not an engravement plate like WWE does it, but it will have their name on the side of the title with their team name and the year that they won. So good luck to everyone that is in playing fantasy, not in just my league, but if you got your own leagues out there, good luck to every single one of you guys. Remember, injuries happen, so go to make sure you guys are hitting that waiver wire before a lot of people start taking some players that you guys want. That happened to me last year, so it is what it is. You either got that luck or you don't. But anyways, y'all, I love y'all. I thank you guys for the appreciation, for the love. Again, wasn't our typical show, but I had a lot of fun. Gonna have to do this a lot more. Probably gonna try to do a lot of more fantasy shows, a lot more. But considering I'm in a league, it's kind of hard to really talk about fantasy. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But yes, you got. So reminder: show tonight, show tomorrow, game is tomorrow. We'll be back live on Monday to break down not only the 53-man roster. I don't know. I think cuts are that's going to be due by Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So we would definitely be breaking down. And then I'll speak about it Monday. I might be gone for a week, you guys. This is not me going on another 7th month break. I'm just going on a vacation with my beautiful girlfriend. Um, but I am taking my laptop out there, so we might have some, we might try to do some things, but I don't really want to spend too much time on my laptop. I mainly want to spend time with her while we're out there. This is like our only vacation of the year. Definitely, probably going to be away for a week. So Tuesday, I'll probably go live Tuesday just to make up for that week. So Monday, Tuesday, we should be active. So hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and hit that like. Main thing, hit the bell. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Hit the bell. Love y'all. We out of here.